Tioni Theus was murdered on January 8, 2022. Her body was found dumped on the side of the 110 freeway in Los Angeles. She had been shot in the neck. Hey everybody, welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. I'm Christy Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
It is going well.
Glad to hear it.
Excited to be here for Tuesday cases. We're
Yeah.
recording just a little bit early. If it seems like we're look the same as we did yesterday, we did.
Yeah, it's true.
Had a very long day of funerals on Monday, so
Yes,
we
we did.
pre-recorded to be on the same track with you guys. So
Definitely.
so that's, in case you're wondering, you're not wrong.
We always get comments. Why are
Uh-huh.
you wearing the same shirt in more than one episode?
This is why.
This is why.
This is why.
Well,
Now you
let's
know.
go ahead and get started. I know that you have a WTF segment for us, so let's get right into it.
All right. Well, I have some WTF news coming for you out of Florida. Now, you might be going, oh, Florida man, here we go. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Christy, a couple of weeks ago, you brought us a case, a kind of a WTF moment as well, of a man in Las Vegas who was detained, who had the same name as a criminal that had a arrest warrant out for him, who sat in jail for, I think, 5 days.
6 days, yeah.
6 days. Well, guess what? The same damn thing happened in Florida.
Good hell.
This is the craziest thing, and it makes me so mad because I don't understand how these things happen to people who absolutely don't deserve this, you know?
Right.
So I want to show you a picture of this gentleman and tell you a little bit about what happened to him, because his story, I think, really, really deserves to be told. So this guy right here's name is Leonardo Silva Oliveira. He lives in South Florida. Well, apparently there's at least 2 Leonardo Silva Oliveras. I'm going to do it wrong every time, who live in South Florida, and they look fairly similar. One of them is quite the criminal. The other one is not, and has no criminal record whatsoever.
Oh dear.
So the fugitive, Leonardo, was charged with burglary and grand theft in 2017, and he's wanted for a probation violation out of Palm Beach County. Well, another man with the same age and similar appearance ended up in the Broward County Jail for 5 days after being arrested on January 20th. It wasn't until they ran his fingerprints 5 days later, 5 days after this man has sat in jail for nothing, when they finally realized they were dealing with a case of mistaken identity. I can only imagine how many times they were told that,
Right.
but they're not listening to him because he's the criminal. Only he wasn't the criminal. So here's what's really crazy. So they found him and arrested him at his job. At his job.
Great.
Yep. Somehow the arrest warrant got, whoever was filling out this stuff had his name, his driver's license, and his social security number on it. And they took a picture of him and sent it to a deputy who knew him, who said, yep, that's the guy. One problem, the guy they were looking for is covered in tattoos, fully sleeved on both arms. And the guy they picked up has no tattoos. And they checked his arms and they saw that he had no tattoos, but everything else matched, so they just went with it. So for 5 days, this man who had been arrested from his job for no reason whatsoever sat in jail. Yep. He has an attorney. Don't you worry. We'll
Good.
see what happens. So he's a free man now, and he has an attorney representing him. So I certainly hope that he gets his due diligence out of this.
I do too. I do too because there's got to be a better way. I mean, at least in this case, they looked similar. The guy in Las Vegas, the
Yeah,
incorrectly arrested guy, was black, and the guy that was supposed to be arrested was white
yeah,
with a big
and about
white beard.
yeah, like 25 years difference in age.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, why aren't they checking fingerprints like right away?
right away. Yeah.
There
Well,
should
and
be
the
a
whole
better
tattoo
protocol.
thing, you know,
Yeah,
the whole tattoo thing. I mean, that should, but from however this all was filled out all the way down, mistakes were made. And I think they better go back to their entire system and see how they are doing things and how this mistake was made, because this is all
right.
wrong.
Yeah, there's got to be a way to be sure if because you're going to run into people with the same name. That's going to happen.
Hmm.
Oh, this
Yep.
poor guy.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Not cool at all. So, with that being said, I'm going to turn the mic over to you for our main case.
Yes, our main case, and this is a very new case, and so this is just the beginning of continuing to cover it because I know things are going to change. But this is the murder of Tioni Theus. This happened in Los Angeles on January 8th, is when her body was found.
Hmm.
She was 16.
Oh,
She was fatally shot in the neck. Her body was found dumped on the side of the 110 freeway. And nobody knows how she got there. This is very early on. But this has been one of those cases that hasn't had anywhere near the kind of press and
hmm.
rewards and stuff that it should have.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, right around the same time that this happened, excuse me, there was a search and a reward for a white woman named Brianna Kupfer. Immediately had a $250,000 reward. The police were all over it. And Tiani's case has not had anywhere near that kind of attention at all.
Yeah.
So there's been a little bit more. There's a reward now up to, I think it's $115,000 now.
Good.
But there's been a significant amount of pressure placed on the city, the county, the state to get involved, to
Yeah.
care about this young girl.
Yeah.
It's really scary. The things that we know this issue exists. We've been watching it, happen
Yeah.
for the last 2 years we've been doing this podcast,
Hmm.
and yet it just continues to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so of course, Tiani's family is just destroyed
Of course.
over this. Um, Tiani is also believed to have been a child sex trafficking victim.
Oh, no.
And there's been some problems with that. There's been afraid to talk about that in the news because there's a lot of judgment around kids being involved in what they call prostitution, which is
No.
not. No,
Nope.
this is child sex trafficking.
Yep.
Tiani's life kind of went to hell in 2019. Her mom was in a hit and run crash
Oh, dear.
and very severely injured and has left her in a rehab facility. Like, she can't come
Oh.
home. And so, of course, Tiani, you know,
Hmm. Has struggled.
has
Yeah.
struggled since then, has
Hmm.
rebelled and, taken off, and they don't always know where she is and stuff. And oh, no shit,
Well,
she's been
yeah.
through a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah.
This is so new. Like, there isn't even an autopsy report yet. There's nothing.
Yeah.
We know that she was shot.
Hmm.
And Tiani was a straight A student. She was into dance and golf, and she had a lot going for her. in her life. And somewhere things really fell down for her. And I think that she deserves to have her name spoken wherever we can possibly speak it.
Yeah.
And to keep pressure on the police in LA to solve this case.
Yeah.
Who killed this girl?
Yeah.
Who dumped her on the freeway?
Yeah.
Like,
Who was
you know,
trafficking her?
Who was trafficking her? And we don't know if the trafficking has anything to do with her murder, but if it doesn't, I'll be damn surprised.
And even if it doesn't, that also has to be solved. There has to
Right.
be accountability.
Right. She's, a victim in several different ways here. So her family did just have a funeral for her a few days ago. And there's been a lot of pressure from various people to get, better rewards out. And
And
Governor Gavin
115,000
Newsom
is pretty good.
has
That's a
gotten out there.
start.
And so, yeah, it's
Good.
115. And so, yeah, there's money out there to try to get more information on her. But I just wanted to get her
Good.
name out there.
Yes.
So that
Will
we can then
show us her
continue
picture
to
one more time.
You would ask me that. Yeah, I
Probably
can.
asking you to switch one from. I know you end up getting tech in one place and then you move it to this computer, and I know I do this too.
Too many screens, but yes, I will get a picture up of her in just a second. But yeah, I wanted to get her story out there so that we can continue to cover it and update it, because she and her family deserve justice. They deserve to know what happened to Tioni. I mean, everybody does.
Absolutely.
Everybody deserves this kind of coverage and this kind of care about them. I'm so very tired of watching this kind of stuff play out, in which somebody does not get, for some reason, well, we know what reason. She's Black.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to get a picture up and talk at the same time. And as if you can tell, I'm not doing very good with it. But I'm very nearly here with a picture of Tioni so that we can see her. She's a beautiful young girl, and she deserves justice, and she deserves as much attention as any other person who gets murdered or goes missing. This is Tioni.
And as always, somebody knows something.
Right. Somebody knows something.
Yeah.
What was the trafficking situation? Who was the trafficker? Who was involved there? What other girls maybe that she knows?
That's my thought.
That's my thought too. And I'm sure
that she knows that are scared to death. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we will continue to keep an eye on this case and make sure that, just like everybody else, we're keeping some pressure on the police and the press to make sure that Tioni gets justice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And Katie, I'm going to give you a chance for a little more WTF crime today.
I was all about WTF crime, and now you'll see why.
I'm sure we will.
Well, WTF, Tennessee. This one absolutely slays me. This case happened last Thursday, and this is a case of a gentleman who was sitting on a highway guardrail, and he had been sitting there, and an officer passed and wondered what was going on. And so they stopped to talk to him. His name was Landon Eastep. And an officer stopped to talk to Landon just kind of as a welfare check, because he was sitting in a spot that you wouldn't really want people to be sitting. And he wasn't super cooperative. He was acting pretty weird, apparently. This is Landon. And there had been a couple of things go down in his life. He had had some domestic charges back in November, and he and his wife had been working on some stuff, but there had been some trouble in the marriage. But at any rate, he is sitting here, and an officer is trying to talk to him and, get him to leave the roadway. And he's
Mhm.
not really cooperating. He hadn't really broken any laws or anything, but, or maybe it was illegal for him to sit there. I'm not really sure. It may have been, but, he wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting there.
Right, he
And,
wasn't a
and
threat to anybody or anything.
no, and an off-duty officer drove past and saw this going down, so he stopped too to see what he could do to help. So these two officers are kind of working with him, trying to talk to him for quite a while, about a half an hour, trying to de-escalate him. And a whole bunch of other officers end up showing up. They ended up having traffic stopped in both directions. And while he was sitting there talking to them, he showed them that he had a box cutter in his pocket. So they
Mhm.
knew that he had that.
Mhm.
Well, somehow this escalates into 9 police officers training their guns on this guy and trying to force him to comply, and he's not. Again, he hasn't really broken the law, except for maybe just being where he's not supposed to be,
Right.
but he's just acting weird. Well, he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out some kind of shiny silver cylindrical object. And that was it. That was the ticket. That was enough for 9 officers to draw their guns and fill this man with bullets.
Mm,
That's all
God.
it took. 9 officers.
'Cause they were all real at risk with that box cutter. That was super
Mhm.
dangerous. You
Yep.
fucking kidding me?
Mhm. They're uh yeah, not only well, apparently whatever he was doing was, justified 9 people shooting him up full of bullets. Uh that much shooting in that area could have put other people at risk too. Like, it was extremely over the top. All of it was unnecessary and over the top.
Yeah.
But now this guy's dead and left a wife and children and
Mm,
a very shocked family who can't, for the life of them, understand what the hell happened and why in the world this had to happen to their brother, their husband.
right.
His sister Samantha had spoken to the Daily Beast and told them that she didn't know there was anything wrong and had no idea that this there was anything going on. And now his poor wife is trying to figure out how to pay to bury him and how to try to get justice for him
Right.
and how to support her family because he was, of course, bringing income into the family. And now she's left and is just screwed.
Well,
Yep.
that department needs hit right squarely in the pocketbook. What the hell?
Right. Judge, jury, and executioner, apparently. And,
For
death by
sitting on a
firing
guardrail
squad.
with a box cutter, huh?
Yep. Death by
The
firing
hell?
squad for sitting on a guardrail with a box cutter. Yep. Now, obviously, something was up. I'm assuming, was having some kind of mental health breakdown.
Mhm.
Why?
Or he could have
Why?
been drunk or high.
He could have been. Yeah. And these are things we don't know yet,
Right.
and maybe we won't
But
know.
none of it justifies what the police did.
Yeah.
Absolutely none of it.
Yep.
Ugh.
Through the conversation, the initial trooper said he thought it would be okay, that, they were going to get him straightened out and get him off the road and things would be all right. But I think the more police showed up, the more, you know, charged up he got, and the more charged the situation got. So this is very new too,
Right,
and there
like,
might
why
be
did they not need 9 police officers there for this guy to begin with?
why indeed. The initial reports when I first learned about this case on TikTok was that there were 15 police cars there. 15 for a
God.
guy who didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's so hard to understand what happened here. And again, this is very new. And hopefully, there will
Mm,
be an autopsy report at some point, and there'll be a little more information about what was happening with this guy. But
right.
again, I just don't understand why he needed to be executed like that on the roadway. I just don't.
He didn't. Not at all.
No,
That's so sick.
no, it is. And his family didn't deserve this at
No.
all. Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll probably come back to report on this again as more information is made known. But I wanted to make
For
sure that
sure.
you guys knew about the the killing of Landon Eastep.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
God damn it, police. Stop fucking shooting people.
Yeah.
God, I'm tired of it.
But then on the flip side, there have been several officers that have died this week
There have
in
been.
civilian, being shot by the bad guys. I mean,
There
it's
have.
happening on both sides, and it's horrifying either way. But this kind of stuff, how do
But
you
a guy
answer
sitting
for
there with a
that?
box cutter in his pocket
Yeah,
warranted all this? No. No, it didn't.
no.
Mm,
Yeah, it's just, I just can't.
no, I can't either. Well, I'm sure you all can't either, too. So we will
Yeah.
keep you posted on this case.
Mm-hmm.
And this is our Tuesday case. So we will be back on
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday with
Yep.
another episode. Back Wednesday night for the Wednesday night case updates at 7 p.m. Mountain. And on Thursday night, we will be back at 7 p.m. Mountain as well for marching orders on the Psychic Hour. So we have lots more great content coming up. So be sure to like, subscribe, share, and come back because there's more coming this week.
You bet.
Yeah, we are True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Thanks for being here.
Take care.